Hey guys, and welcome to another Moto for HRL. This is round 10 at Wild Goose Arena Cross as we go through the starting gate. Round 10, it's really crazy that we're this far into the season and that we actually only have one week left of the regular season. Technically 1 week left. There is a wild card sort of makeup week afterwards, so I'll have to explain that a little bit. Perhaps at a lull in this race, I'll go through and explain the wild card and go through what that means and everything. But anyways, getting to the start here at Wild Goose. Gate can drop at any second, waiting for it to go down, and it is. We're green. One driver on the inside row. I think that's Rebel. Has a great start. Slides a bit wide though. Blades gets into him. Everybody's getting into him. He two wheels. Slaunch ends up with the hole shot because of that. Rebel probably could have had an easy hole shot if he stuck the inside a little bit harder on that first corner. Maybe he just didn't think he had the room to do so. Tight battling throughout the pack already. Going into the tire tap. Things are going to get a little crazy through here. Yep, there it is. Like, everybody just cheesing through the tire tap. It's honestly one of the easier parts of the track, but for some reason, some of the less experienced Supercross drivers have like the most difficulty with it, which I don't really get. All you have to do is drive completely straight, and you will be fine. But they turn for some reason, and it screws them up. So there's that. Anyways, coming to the finish line here. Slaunch has a pretty solid lead so far, and couple drivers trailing behind him, Blades and Cat in second and third. Or actually, there's another driver up there in that top pack. It might be Detail, I think, at the moment. Yeah, Detail's in fourth, not far behind. So good race for him so far. That's definitely the start he needed. Detail's been trying his hardest to get a podium. He's a winner in HRL previously. In Season 2, he got his first 2 wins, which is huge for him. First 2 wins in HRL and first 2 wins in his Halo Racing career. So really exciting season for Detail. And in this season, he's had some struggles getting back into Halo Racing. Now he's just trying to get some good starts so he can just string together a win. And next week, we're going into two tracks that he's really good at. So I wouldn't be surprised if he can pull out a win there. And I pick Detail a lot, but next week's genuinely a good week to pick him. If he gets a good starting position, he's definitely going to take a win at one of those 2 tracks. Tight pack battling through the top 5. I kind of sounded like Tuco from Breaking Bad for a moment there with my stuttering. I can't talk this morning. This is like the first time I've opened my mouth the entire day, and I've been up for like 3 hours, so you gotta kind of ease into it. But yeah, top 5 battle's pretty solid so far. Slaunch has opened up a nice lead, but for the top 5, you got Rebel, you got Detail, Blades, Cat, just all in a nice, well-knit pack right there. I think that might even be Ump behind them. I'm guessing that's probably, actually, with the way he just went down, could have been Vulcan, but I'm not sure. Regardless, Luke makes that pass. So he was in last crossing the finish line at the start, and now he's up to, I think, 6th or so. So points leader having a rough start, but trying to get his way through the pack, kind of echoing what we see with Dungey in Supercross in real life if you guys actually watch Supercross. Anyways, still a good top 5 pack. Slaunch has a good gap on them, and then Luke has a good gap to make up on them, so it's going to be interesting to see how that battle, how it culminates later in the race and what actually happens, because we're definitely going to have a lot more to go down, especially with the fact that we'll probably have some lap drivers. As you can see, this backpack here, which is actually really close. These drivers are all super tight in this pack, and you can tell that they're kind of cheesing each other. I would not be surprised if we see some more lap traffic again at Supercross. Supercross always having a lot of lap traffic. This is one of the shorter tracks too, although it is one of the easier Supercross tracks of the season. I'd say Amsoil is probably, I mean, if you know how to control your Goose in air, I'd say Amsoil is probably easier than this track, but they're pretty close with each other. I mean, you ask some people, they'd probably put Odessa. Minneapolis is definitely the hardest Supercross race of the season. But if you ask some people, they might even put Odessa in that league of easiest Supercross track of the season. Which, I mean, I wouldn't argue with them. Wild Goose is pretty easy to run consistent laps on, but it's kind of hard in its own right. There's a couple sections where it's difficult in the sense that you just need to find your right line to hit and like the perfect place to get like the right amount of jump to run fast as possible on this track. So it does have a little bit of a skill gap that most people don't notice. There's certainly ways to gain time. Just need to find your line and hit it consistently lap after lap. Here we go to Luke. Detail's having some trouble, so Luke's caught up quite a bit to this pack, and could see him battling for those top 5 positions here in just a moment. So also, I'm going to take this time in the race to try to explain the wild card. So what's happening is we're caught up with the videos right now, as long as I upload these videos on Friday like I intend to. So we're caught up on these videos now, if you've been following the videos. Completely caught up in terms of what we've raced is what's on the YouTube channel. So after a lot of effort to catch up, as Luke's trying to battle with Detail, we've finally gotten there, and we're going into the last 2 races of the regular season, the 11th and 12th round, which is going to be HRL Superspeedway and Mirabilis. Those will be the final 2 rounds, and there's also 2 wild cards after that, which are essentially makeup races for people that have missed races, and except for Luke and Slaunch, everybody has missed at least 1 race. So we will see most of the pack in those wildcard races. Those wildcard races will probably be filled up with a big lobby like the rest of the season's races have been. And those should be really fun races to watch, because they're a chance for... They're 2 things. So what we have in HRL is there's 26 Moto starts throughout the season. And 20 Moto starts is counted as a full season. And the wildcard races offer you 4 extra Motos. So for example, if you have 16 starts going into the wildcard races, you'll get those extra 4, and you'll get your 20 that'll give you a full season. But if you, let's say, have 18 going into the wildcard, then that's a little bit different. You're going to get to 22 starts, and you're going to be able to remove 2 of your worst finishes. If you're familiar with the mulligan rule in golf, why did I say golf? I always say golf. Like, that was weird. Sometimes pronounce it differently. Anyways, if you're familiar with that rule, it's the same thing essentially. It removes 1 of your worst finishes. So let's take Revenge for example. Let's say he has, that exact perfect amount. Let's say he has 18 starts and he's going to mulligan 2 races once he makes the wildcard races. Let's say he has 2 races earlier in the season where he earns 5 points and 4 points. He goes in the wildcard, has a solid race in the first wildcard, gets like an 8-pointer and a 9-pointer, and then in the second wildcard he gets a 10-pointer and an 11-pointer. So that 5 and 4 point finish, those 5 and 4 point finishes from earlier in the season will be knocked out, since those are his worst finishes, and he now has 2 better finishes to take their place. So those will just get removed from his final season, which will improve his points relative to the other drivers that have full seasons complete. So hope I explained it well for you guys. I'll get back to commentating the race, but I wanted to make sure I go through that now so that people understand it later on when we get to those races, because the mulligan rule is going to have huge implications in the final week and in the wildcard week. It's going to make a huge difference. So I just wanted to try to explain it best I could. If you, say in the comments if you actually have any problems understanding it. I hope I explained it well enough. But anyways, oh, fireball. That was close. Saves it a little bit right there, having a battle with Bean. Well, let's get back to commentating Wild Goose. Sorry I went through like a 4-minute tangent there, but I think it was important to explain that. Anyways, we have Rebel getting a little loose. I'm surprised he saved that. Blades is actually behind Rebel at this point, so Blades must have had a bad couple of laps, but Blades makes the pass right there. That's just unfortunate. I think Rebel took the inside bump a little too fast, perhaps. Goes down, so that's unfortunate for Rebel. He only loses 1 position to Blades, though, but he has potential to lose more, as Luke and Detail are right there. So Luke's gotten by Detail in this time that I was explaining the mulligan rule, but they're still pretty tight, and they're still sort of battling. And also, there's the potential of them being able to battle with Rebel here in a second, so we'll have to see if they catch up. It looks like Luke has that position on Detail pretty solid, but at the same time, if Luke goes for a move on Rebel, Detail could easily try to be an opportunist and take advantage of that and just try to get his nose in there. So Detail's definitely going to be trying to keep up with Luke here. Oh, there goes Luke on the inside of the whoops, and he makes the pass with Rebel. That sucks, because Detail, sucks for Detail, because if he could have been like right on Luke's bumper when he makes that move, he could have taken advantage of that and made a pass on Rebel as well. But since Detail had a huge gap right there, just not much he can do. Really, really unfortunate right there for Detail. And here we go to Cat. Cat trying to work on Slaunch. He's right behind him. Going for the move. There it is. Slaunch got held up a little bit by Hunter, and Cat's going to take the lead here at Wild Goose. So good for Cat. Try to get out here and lead some laps on this track. I don't think he's had any lead laps all season, although he's had a few pretty good finishes as of recent, and he's definitely been improving throughout the season. His finishes have definitely gone up and up ever since he joined the league. So good to see him out here in the lead and improving at Wild Goose, especially on Supercross, which is his best category. So expect to see him, if he's going to get his first win, it's probably going to happen in Supercross. Here we watch Bean. Bean still working on Fireball. Yep, they're still battling right next to each other. Been a long battle between these two. Bean, I'm surprised I haven't mentioned this yet, Bean actually had to fight through the LCQ. We actually had more than enough drivers to fill up an entire lobby tonight, so we had to do a last chance qualifier and eliminate a couple drivers, and Bean was one of the drivers that fought through the LCQ. He actually won the LCQ. It's good for him. Go back to Cat here, having a solid race. Not his best run through the tire tap, and what could be better, the lapper is trying to pass Cat, the lap driver, so Cat obviously doesn't want to get interfered with right here, and there he goes. Puts could be better out of the way, loses a bit of ground to Slaunch, but Cat did not want to deal with battling with a lap driver at that time, so he just takes it into his own hands. By our rules, not necessarily an illegal thing to do, because if you're getting held up by a lap driver, you have by all means any right to try to get him out of the way if you're in the lead, if he fails to blue flag. I mean, obviously a lap driver can get his lap back, but I don't think, if you're watching Could Be Better for the entire race, I don't think he's fast enough to truly get his lap back in that situation. Cat was certainly going to pass him back. Watch for a second there. Here we go to Luke. Oh, Rebel getting loose. And there it is. Luke got passed again by Rebel, and then he goes by Rebel again too. So that was kind of an interesting situation. I wonder how Rebel got back by him. Here we go to Cat, and Could Be Better. Could Be Better going on his inside yet again, and he takes out Cat. The lap driver takes out the leader. Unfortunate circumstance. That's going to get Could Be Better a last place shot in terms of a penalty for his results in that scenario. At the HRL, we are just absolutely done with lap drivers taking races into their own hands. So we're going to start enforcing more harsh penalties on lap drivers that interfere with the race in such severe ways. So Could Be Better is going to get a last place finish for this race, despite the fact that he was running in 14th or 13th or so. It just put him in an automatic last, and I think that's the penalty we're going to have for lap drivers now if they take out the leader. Just automatic last place should deter them a little bit from doing so, hopefully. Or hopefully they just learn over time not to wreck the leader. Slaunch back in the lead now. Blades in second. And Cat in third. Coming around to the white flag. And here we go. Hits the white flag at the stripe. And try to run a clean lap, take the win. Blades still trailing behind, but by quite a few goose lengths. Going to be hard for him to catch up. Definitely going to have to take a mistake or so. Slaunch has a big gap from the next lap driver, so a mistake is unlikely at this point. Rounding the last corner. Getting through the roller section absolutely clean. Over the triple. Fine lap. Over the finish double. There it is. Comes around and is going to take the checkered flag here at Wild Goose. Slaunch takes his 4th Moto win of the season. Blades is going to take 2nd. Cat going to take 3rd. Luke going to take 4th. Almost caught up to that group by the very end of that race. Rebel 5th. Ooh, Detail. Close battle there with Ump, but he holds on, gets 6th, and Ump gets 7th. And then here we're going to have the results scroll, so you guys can check out the rest of the results. Here we go. 8th is Fireball. 9th Turkey. 10th Vulcan. Bean in 11th. Revenge in 12th. Hunter in 13th. Obix in 14th. DJ in 15th. And Could Be Better with the takeout penalty in 16th. This last driver crossed the line. Here we go. Congrats to Slaunch in his 4th Moto win of the season. And yeah, I love these drivers jumping in the way of the podium shot. Hope you guys enjoyed that race. See you next time.